Hello, everyone. Finally. Okay, so sorry for the wait. It's been loading for ages, so we'll finally loaded. So a little bit of review. Okay, so this is about intervals. Are you still there? So hello, Carl and Chinsa. Okay, so let's begin. So first I will have to review the intervals. Hello, Shakti. So here, what are the intervals again? It would either be here to here, primary. So from delta ray or from the tonic to the supertonic is a full tone. So it's called whole tone, WT. Why? Because from C to D, you would have one note in between, which is C sharp or D flat. So C sharp or D D flat. And then that's the D natural. So C, D flat to D natural, or C, C sharp to D. So there are two half steps. And when there are two half steps, it comprises one whole tone. And then from E to F is only half a step, so it's called semitone. Okay, so that should not be difficult to remember. Now, how do we know when a chord is a major or a minor? First, again, so let's not waste so much ink. So here, there, and there. Of course, the famous C major chord. So between here, C to E, we analyzed it. Earlier we did the analogy of the interval. So now from C to E, first thing we need to do is count the interval. So C, always count starting at the first note or the bottom note. So 1, and then D, 1D, 1C, 2D, 3 is E. That means the interval is a third. And then, how do we know if this is a major, a minor, diminished, or augmented? So, when the third interval follows the key signature of the lower note, which is this one, the bottom note, then it's just a major one. So remember, 2, 3, 6, and 7. These four tones in the scale comprise of the majors when they follow the key signature of the lower note. So the key signature would be, in this case, is a C major because the lowest note is C or Do. That means no sharps, no flats. So since I did not put any accidentals here as well, that means that the third interval is a natural tone. So it just follow the C major chord. That means 3 belongs to those, so it's just called a major interval. Okay. So how do we know if it's a minor? When it's one half step lower, when it goes down one half step, like this one, then This time you go to the minor interval, small letter m. Is this clear so far? If you have questions, you can type in right away. So I can address it this instant. And then what happens if we want to lower this again half a step? So 2 flats. Then that's the time this becomes a diminished third. Diminished third. So 2 steps lower. Theoretically, this is still a third, but when you listen to the sound, of course, this will sound like a D natural already. So this one to there is actually a diminished third, theoretically speaking, diminished third interval. And so 3. So I'll erase those 2 flats. Now when the tone is from the major, you raise it 1/2 step higher. That means if I put a sharp here, then the third would become an augmented third. So everything that raises 1/2 step higher would result to an augmented interval. Hopefully that's very clear. So now I'm going to erase this one. So the difference now is that when we're dealing with a prime is 1 and 8, or the octave is simply the first note, and the perfect tones, which are the fifth and the fourth. In this case, we have the fifth. If it just follows the key signature of the bottom note, then it's called perfect. In this case, it follows the key signature of C, so it's just called perfect fifth. I hope this is clear so far. So now let's summarize. What is the formula for major? So major chord is major third plus B5. This is clear. Minor is minor third plus B5. So only this interval changed. The fifths remain the same. They remain the same. Now, if it's diminished, this one, oh, sorry, in this case, the top one, we need to deal with the top one and the third one. So this is minor 3 plus, then lower the fifth. So let's diminish fifth equals diminished chord. Okay? And then if it's augmented, then it's major third plus augmented fifth. This one. When you raise it half a step higher, then automatically you go up to augmented fifth. So you need to memorize this, or you need to put this in there, in your brain, and don't ever forget it. These are your bullets. You already have a gun. All you need to do is load them with bullets. Okay, so remember this. That's okay. So now, our lesson is about the common chord progressions. But first, let's solve another example. This one, let's see. This one would be our tonic. So what chord are we in? This is the tonic. No inversions. Yes, you can type down your answer. What chord? Or what will be the triad? So F, F, A, and C. Inverted. Or here with the letter line. Okay. And C. Right. So now how do we want to spread this? So let's see all the possibilities. Let's say you want the tenor to be just A. So that's closed position. It's not open one. So closed. This is superimposed. And then you want your alto to be close to that note also. So this is superimposed fifth. And then of course you need another F or another C, fifth or tonic. Of course we would prefer the tonic as the double note. So like in our assignment, should be 4, 5, and then tonic. So where do we want to go next? So, what is the subdominant? Subdominant is what? What are the tones in your subdominant? It's B flat, D, and F. Okay, so where do we want to go? So let's say we just follow these. So you go down to E flat. Remember, we're not putting the key signature there, so we'll have to write down accidental there. So the bass went up, went down to E flat. The next thing you would want to do is to look at the soprano. It should oppose or it should counter the movement of the bass. So it should go up, it should move up. So it should move up, or you may retain the chord. So where do we want to go? Perhaps just retain. So what is missing? We don't have a third yet. So which one will go to the third? And which one goes to B or F or tonic or fifth? See, there are other possibilities here. This one could go down to B flat. But what if, where will the tenor go if this is already, if the alto went down to B flat already? Can anyone guess? This will be the next, this is an additional rule. But I need you to guess first. So where would you put the tenor if you want the alto to go down there? Any guesses? Where would the tenor go? Should it go up to B? You can use the green one to signify that this is a tenor. Or would you go down to the D here? Okay, so which is which? We need a D because the D is the third of the chord. So you cannot put another F or another B. We need a D. Because I have added here already the B flat. I'm not saying that this is correct, but then, yeah. So we need, and it's a must to have a D or a third. So should I put it up here or down there? Or what should we do? Okay, so this one, if the tenor goes down to D, there will be a crossing of voices. What do I mean with the crossing of voices? Thank you, Chinsa, for answering, and Marie. Crossing of voices happens when the higher voice, in this case is the tenor, will go down lower than the previous voice or the current voice of the lower note. In this case, the bass. The lowest note of the bass at the moment is F. And your tenor jump down to D. That means there's a crossing of voices. So this voice is lower than this one, even when it's already passed. Even when it's sung already, this is confusing in the olden days to be sung. Therefore, you cannot put it there. So remember, crossing of voices, no crossing of voices. So your only option now is to go up. But if you put it there, if this will be your tenor, what is the problem? Exactly the same thing. You cross the voice of the alto. The alto's highest voice or the initial register is C. But then your tenor went up higher, and at the same time, since the alto is singing a B flat, there's a third interval there. It's too far away. You are only allowed to have the same voices equal to or lower than that. So if you cannot solve the voice, the tenor voice, there must be something wrong. What do we want to do? There are other options. You can play around with all these three notes. In this case, let's see. What if you don't want to change those anymore? Then this one should change. It cannot go down. The alto should not move downwards. So, of course, the only place to go to is D, that note. And then, now here you have the option to sing another B flat or to go down to F. That's still fine. But I'd rather go up there. Don't forget, since we're not using any key signatures, write the accidental there, so B flat. So I want you really to work on or practice doing this without the key signature, so you would really understand how the usage of the flats and the sharps or the key signature themselves. Okay, so now here is um, here are your the chord. Here's the chord. So B flat, D, it's still in rip position. So where do we go next? Dominant. What is the dominant of F? What is the dominant of F? It's, any guesses? It is the answer, dominant of F. Yes, C. So, since there are no inversions, you go up to C. You cannot go up anymore, right? Because that went up, so this has to go down. And the closest note that belongs to the C major chord would be the E. So now these two could go down to C for this one, or the B flat to what? It could go down to G, or it could also move up to C. So the alto has no other place to go to than to go down to C. Do you agree? Yes, you would agree. Okay. Where would you put now the B flat then? Yes, you can go up to there. You can use two voices or unison. Unison and then so triple root position and then a third. That's acceptable. Or you may want to complete the chord by putting this down to there. Are there any consonant voices? No. Hello, Tatamina. So, there. That's your full chord, full dominant chord. And we need to solve the last one. Um, the last voice, well, you can go down if you want to F. It's up to you. So let's see, if you go down here, then your soprano should go up. Tonic, the note to go to is, of course, the F as well. There. Um, Now, the alto is already singing the C or do. Thus, you can just retain that note. There. And now, this will be, where will you put the tenor's voice? The tenor voice. Where will you put the tenor voice? A, Y, A. This is correct. You have to go up to A, Y, because you're missing the third. If you don't put an A here, then you don't have a third. Another thing, if this will go down to F, then you have here a parallel fifth movement. So there's a moving of parallel intervals here. That means you will have a hidden fifth somewhere. So the best way to go to is to move up. Now let's see. Hello. So now, if earlier this F you want, if your bass singers are not that good, or maybe their voices are not that strong when they're singing very low tones, then you put it there. But what happens now is, how do you call that? Parallel movement. So the soprano and the, although actually from C to E, since it's not an octave, this is acceptable. But not really, because this is an octave. You're coming from a third interval, but you're resolving to an octave. That means still wrong. Because you have an octave here, it means that this voice should really go down. So let's take that off. The only place to go to now is C. That's the closest to this voice. And because your alto is already singing that note, you can, well, actually you cannot retain this because you'll have a problem with this too. The interval here is fifth, so perfect fifth. Therefore, you need to oppose the movement. So what you can do, this one moves up to F, and this voice should oppose the movement or counter the movement. Therefore, you will have two, well, that's correct, two tonics. Tonic there, tonic, tonic, and then the alto moves downwards. Is this clear? Okay, any questions? Let's see if I could load something for you to listen to. Let me bring up my finale and let's test if we could hear it. So while loading up, any questions? So who has a question? Uh, Sixteen. And then view, scroll, make it bigger. Okay, so let me just copy what I did here. So now the notes are okay. Oh, what is that? Something is playing in the background. There. So, okay. So let's
Let me know if I can help.
Oh, let's Siri. No, you cannot help. I don't need you. Okay, so now let's listen to this. That's the first chord. Oh, let me know if you heard it. Yes, you'll have to listen first to the chord that constructed, and then I'll give you more examples. So let me know if it's loud enough for you to hear the example. So I'm going to play it again. That's this chord. Now, I will put the next chord. B flat, B flat, and then D and F. Okay, now let's listen. Okay, let me know if you could hear the choir, well, the choral sonnet playing here, and then the dominant. So, G, C, T, G, C, and then E. Oh, sorry. Beginning. So first chord. And then tonic. Two Fs there. One F. Bass. Okay, let's listen. Okay, so that's our arrangement here. So earlier we also did with the this is what we did. The bass went down to here, and then soprano went up to there. Now I'm going to change the last chord. Let's see. Into here, and then A and C. Then goes up to C, and soprano to E, F. Okay, let's listen. Yay! So how do you find our first example here on the board? How do you like the harmony? When harmonized correctly, they sound pleasant. Well, the chords will sound pleasant. So another example. Nobody's saying yes, so maybe we don't need examples anymore. This already set. Okay, next. Of course, you can need more examples. So, now, go away. Yeah, I told you in the conservatory, since we all have pianos in our classrooms, our professor would just play that, or simply ask us students to sing our parts, and then we sing it, and then you could hear actually the harmonization right away. So now, another example. So, let's see. This is so that is like your assignment. So I just take one note and just that, and then you supply the rest. So yes, you can retain the same note as long as it belongs to the chord. No problem there. And then, since you know that this is already the first inversion, then you know that this is the third. So what will be your tonic or your root? It has to be an E. But what kind of E? Based on this, since this is natural, and you see that the Roman numeral or the Roman number here is a big 1, that means that this is a major chord. And major chord, and if it's just plain, if it's E natural, then the interval would be minor. Because E major, you have in E major, you have 4 sharps, and 1 belongs to G. Therefore, you will have to make this flat. So what key are we in? E flat major. Right, okay, the top. So where do you want to put the soprano voice to? It could be any of the 3 notes. Let's the tonic there. So tonic and third. You can double now the tonic or the fifth. Where do you want to place the tenors twice. You want to make it difficult for the tenor? You can put it up there as E. Or you can also go down to B, E flat. There. And then what's missing? Another fifth or another tonic. This is G, this is the third. So another one of this, it could be there, or another E, or another E. So let's say you want to double the fifth. So next is subdominant. And then one there and other. Now let's see, we can actually move them. We can also invert them if we want. So now, subdominant of E flat. Subdominant of E flat is, what's the bottom note? An A. So now, if you're going to, sorry, if you're going to harmonize this as it is, then you may either go there. You can now move the bass up here, and I would say this one could also go share the same pitch. Instead here. So double tonic, and then retain that note. So where would that go? We have to have a third. Therefore, this one has to go up there. It's the only way. But then, if we do this, what will be the mistake? Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess what is the mistake here? Something is wrong. Something is wrong here. Yes. Let's see. Who could guess what is wrong here? What is wrong? Still here. When you go down to E flat, but we need a third. This is half correct, but it's no, it's wrong. So why? Why is it wrong? If this goes down to E flat, then you don't have a third, which is even worse. So we need a third. But what is wrong here? If this is how we harmonize, then what is wrong? The interval between this, the tenor, and the alto will be more than an octave. Okay? That is one of the no-nos. So, since you cannot do this, then you will have to fix your initial chord. So, you know that is not possible. So what will you do? Perhaps you may want to switch to the least. So this one, Okay, I'll not switch, but then put this up here. The tenor's voice could be like that. And then this is now the alto. Okay, so it will change a bit. So let's see, this is great. Bass could go up. Okay. We can keep that note since it's already in E flat. Now this one could go up there. And where do you want to put this one? It can also go up there. It could also go down to, oh, sorry. Yeah. So up, no, not up there. It could only go down to here. Why? Because if we move this up, then we will have a parallel movement there. It has to go down. So this one could go down here. Or you can also keep that note. That is accepted. Since there's no change there, it's fine. But let's, we want it like this. Okay, then next would be the dominant. How would you fix the dominant? What's the dominant of E flat? It's B flat. So B flat. Where do you want to go now? So the bass, there will be another rule here that you cannot do. The bass would have to go up to B flat, right? But then there will be a crossing of voices. And now, if you go down to B flat here, the other rule, another rule would be a seventh lead is not allowed. Therefore, the interval here is from B flat to A, B flat to A. You cannot jump a seventh interval. So this is not allowed, this is not allowed. What will you do? Come on, rack your brains out. What will we do now? If the bass cannot be there, since there will be crossing of voices here, and it cannot meet the seventh interval down there, where should it go? Guess, guess, guess. For now, it's all about guessing. To G. If I put this to G, what is now the dominant? Can you tell me the dominant of E flat? Because I think the G note is actually, the G tone is an alien. It doesn't belong to the dominant. Yeah, so why do I have a G there? What is the triad for B flat? It's B flat. This is the triad for a B flat. There is no G, there's no G, there is no G. So, where will you put your bass? B flat is the dominant, therefore there is no G in B flat. But now the question is, what note to be assigned to the bass? Okay, it shouldn't be as difficult as rocket science. Any guesses? E flat. Okay, again, the triad for the B flat. B flat is the correct answer for the dominant of E flat. What? The notes in E flat are only B flat, D, and F. There's no E flat either. So that is not possible. So you cannot go down to B flat. So where can we go to? Yes, you may go down to F since this is part of the chord, but we will have to change that. Since F is the fifth, oops, yeah, bass, yeah. Oh, wait. Hmm. Now I got, yeah, I got it. So later, I think he was referring to this one because there was an octave here, more than an octave interval. So oh yeah, yeah. So she got confused. She was thinking we're still here. Okay. So actually, we have to do something because that's more than an octave. So if this one went up already, the only way for you to do is there. Okay. So that might be a little bit confusing for you, but yeah, we all did not see that first. So that's already more than an octave from here to there. So what you can do also is to put this down here to C. Sorry about that. So we go back to subdominant. Subdominant. This can go down to C, and this could the alpha could go down to there. Okay. But if you do that, there will be another problem. Now let's just pretend this. The sound will be much better. Okay. So next, we go down here. This will be easier to solve now. The dominant could be, you can go there because now it's free since the timer's voice is already up there. So there will be no more crossing of voices like earlier. So now this could go up to B flat, but the rest, where do they go? Where should they go? Where should they go to? This is B flat. Okay, so the rest. So C, since this went up, are you still with me? The soprano should go down. So soprano goes down to D. So now the remaining two voices. The remaining two, alto would go down to alto. Can you guess? Where should we put the alto voice? B flat. That's correct. And then the tenor, the tenor to F. Are you sure? Hello, Chef Christine. Thank you for coming. F tenor. Are you sure about this one? We might have to redo this if we cannot solve it this way. Yes, there's a parallel movement. We're seeing that now. Yeah. So I told you there are a bunch of options. You can do inversions, you can do a lot of stuff there. Yeah, this retain. No, you cannot retain this because the chord now is B flat, D, and F. That means this would not fit to the chord. So if we keep it here, there's a question of parallel direction. So while we try to guess, I'm going to load those notes to the computer. Okay, down to D. Now there will be a problem here. If it's down to D, look, octave, octave, parallel also. And also because you cannot double third. So to access, it's a no-no. So what can you do? Perhaps do something here? Do you want to try putting it this way? That means this will become a 6, 5, or a second inversion. Oh, so this one could also go down to E flat, but then another problem would be E and E octave going down, same direction. Yes, we will have to adjust the bass. Therefore, I suggest maybe we do this. So now this will go down to, what's the fifth? It's F. So it's off. Now you have the fifth. The movement went down, but here it went down. So this goes up there to counter the movement. Now we already have here a B flat. Now transfer, you can already put that there. Or maybe not. What is wrong if we make it like this? Someone who could tell me what is wrong here? What is wrong here? Something is not right. Yeah, but you have to see what is wrong here. Yes, there's a parallel because of the fifth. A to E, fifth, went down. So this can only go up. And what are the choices? F or B flat. It's too high up if we go up there. Therefore, only F. So what do we do now? We need to have we need to do something. What is next? I choose E to F, and then this is right now. Yeah, D went up to F. So what else? What is missing? What is missing? We don't have a third yet. So, what do we do? The third is D. Can it go down to there? No. Can it go up there? Yes. So, do you think this is already solved or not yet? Oh, sorry. This we're doing in 6-4, not 6-5. This is the second inversion. Yes, no third, so now that. But what is missing now if it's like this? We don't have the tonic. That is the most important tone. We don't have a B flat. And B flat would identify this chord supposedly as the dominant. Therefore, maybe we should do something. So one option is for this to go up there as B flat. Well, if you want your soprano to sing that in high note, then it's fine, as long as they could sing that note. If not, what will you do? Do you want to try doing a 6-5? I put it earlier, but I gave you the wrong one. So 6-5 is no 6-5. It's only 6. First inversion. So if it's a first inversion now, this goes down to D, because D is the third. So now let's remove all of them. You already have a third. So what do you need to supply next? The fifth and the tonic. So what is the fifth? An F, and what is the tonic? B flat. So this can go up to B flat. Is that correct? The tenor could go now up to B flat. Why did I do that one first? Because that is a fifth interval. So it goes in movement. And then here also, say, fifth also A to E. If it's an octave lower, it's also like same as this one. So what will happen now? What will happen? Let's solve this one first. We don't have it on it yet, so put it there. So where does the soprano go? Soprano to F. We want to go to F. Actually, it really has to go up there because of this. Then something has to be done here, there, and there. The only option is to go down. Okay, so when you're in this predicament, you have to remember that the more important tones will be given priority. It's more important to oppose this than to oppose this, because these are inner voices. So I gave you the wrong example or earlier for you to really analyze. Then, since this is also wrong, and this is just an inner voice, then it could go there. This is more important, the internal scale. Okay? So we need a third. That's why I'm putting it down here. If it stays there, it's an F, we don't have, oh, yeah. Wait, this is already the third. So there. Yeah. So these are more important ones than these. Sorry about that. This is D already, so you don't need to go down to D. So you can keep that there. Okay? There is a parallel movement here, but then this is just an inner voice. So it's fine. Since we're not dealing with the more advanced rules yet, where we would use the sevens and all, because in the future you can easily do away with this kind of situation once we deal with the other rules. But when you're strictly trying to follow the basic rules we have at the moment, then this is what is going to come out. So I will put this here. That's D, D, F, and then D flat, and then F. So far, the sound would be. And tonic. So how do we solve the next tonic? Tonic is E flat. So it just goes up there. For this one, E flat, one up, this has to go down. E flat, and then this one should be kept there, since that's your fifth, and we need a third, so there. This is not parallel because it's not fifth. It's not a fifth or either an octave, so they could go up in the same direction. So now let's load that here. E, G, B flat, and E flat. So let's listen. There you go. So we had this problem, but that is fine because this is a strict block chord. So far, are there any questions here? The chord progression, that's actually the main topic, is just a review, but it's taking so long already. So I'm going to remove it. So the basic chord progression is actually, we will have to deal with this more next time. Okay, so I'm going to erase this. So keep in mind that from tonic, from 1, you can go to any chord. Meaning you can go to supertonic chord, median, subdominant, dominant, submedian, leading tone, or leading tone. Excuse me. So the basic chord progression, aside from tonic as being the first, the second, excuse me. So you can go from tonic and go to any note, when it's in the beginning. At the start, you can go to any chord. That's what I mean. So any chord. So if the tonic is, let's say, C, and then all of a sudden you want to perhaps go to G right away, dominant right away, that's fine. Or if you want to go to diminished chord, it's fine. Diminished seventh chord, it's fine. But after that, you will have to, so here any chord, and then next is you will have to remember that you can never go wrong if you either go down a fifth or go up a second or go down a third. So down a fifth, up a second, down a third. What does it mean? So for example, from C major chord, C, let's start with that. And then here, here, and we don't have another E. You can go to any chord. So where do you want to go? Let's say you want to go to a third. So here, you can keep that. This is supertonic minor, medium minor. Just you want. So remember, you can go to any chord you want there. So now E, what's missing? We don't have a B tone. So now this is the B. Now, from here, from this point now, median, you can either go down a fifth. So if the chord is, okay, so at the moment we are here, the third. So it says, the rule says, you can either go down a fifth. So from here, 1, 2, 3, B, 4, and 5. That means you land on A. Down a fifth is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can go to, oh, sorry. You can go to submedian. That's what it says. Or, so the function here could be a submedian. So the base would be perhaps here or there. Or you can go up a second. What is up a second? From E, you can go up a second. 1, 2. That means you go up to F. So one option is this one. Another option is a subdominant major. And there's another option here. You can also just go down a third, meaning from here you go back to C major chord. Okay, so what do you want to use for this? Perhaps, let's use that one, subdominant. So A, and then this has to be a C. C, you don't see it there. C, and then perhaps this one could go down to C, and then this goes up to A. There. Oh, sorry, no. Here. You cannot double third. So there. So A, C, and E. And then, where do you want to go from here? So from, we are 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are here. So you may go down a fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is B minor or supertonic. You can opt to go to supertonic here, or up a second is D, diminished chord, or 1, 2, 3, or the subdominant chord. Let's say subdominant. So F would be F here, and then this is still C, this is still A, and this one goes up to there. And then we are here now, F. You can, the next chord could be going down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be E, or you can go up to dominant. This one is a leading tone. It could be B, and then here you could go from here, from the fourth, from F. You can go up a second, and that will be the dominant. You can go to dominant. Or let's try going up to the super, going on a second. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we go 5 steps down. That means we will be going to B diminished. So there. And then this note, D. Keep that. And bring this one to B. You kept that, so yeah, same note, so that's fine. And then, once you are already here, since this is the leading tone chord, it leads you already to the tonic. So let's see if it leads you now to the tonic. That means this diminished. Now here, tonic, and then the leading tone. So remember another rule for leading tone, it always leads you up to the tonic. So this is a leading tone, leading you to the tonic. There. And then C, we don't have a third yet. It went up, this should go down. And now one more note is missing. One more note. Where should the timer go? Any guesses? Should it go up to E? Then you'll have a double third. No, I don't have. No. I'm lacking for one more magnet. So I'll just go for C. Then triple C, but then you have a third. So now I'm going to put this here. Oh, raise, and let's listen to this sound. So do. Sorry. Which one? This one? No, because we went down, we chose to use the sub-medium. We went down a fifth. And then this is sub-dominant. Oh, wait. That's a fa. This is fa. Oh, sorry. No. Oops. This is C. Do, and E, D, B, and then F, and last one, Do, Do, Do. Okay, so let's listen. I'm sorry about that sound so loud. It's outside. Okay, I don't know if you heard it. Okay, that is really loud. Okay, so let's listen to this again. Oops, sorry, my bad. My bad. One note went up too high, the second chord. So, yeah, there it is. Hopefully it is clear. Once more, listen. Listen. Okay, so there it is. That should be the lesson for today. But anyway, so you just have to remember, from the tonic or from your initial chord, you can go to any chord you want. And then from here, this is what you should remember. You can either go down the fifth from that chord. So if you chose, for example, subdominant, from subdominants of four, four, three, two, one, and then seventh. So this one. Or if you want to go up with the subdominant, you're going to go up the second subdominant to dominant, or down the third. So subdominant, subdominant, median, and then supertonic. So you can either go to supertonic, to leading tone, or to dominant. So down the fifth, up the second, and down the third. We'll deal with this more next lesson. So hopefully you could review this for the week. Well, review the rest also. So you could remember them. So one last time, let's listen to the chord that we just harmonized based on the chord progression, the basic chord progression. That was the harmonization. Okay, so I think, yeah, that's actually long now. So we'll have to do another review next time. Well, not really a review. It will be the lesson proper for this, and then another lesson for review, and then I'll add more groups as we go by. What's name G? Are you here? Yeah, we don't need the fifth since we triple the root, the root of the chord. Because if this one goes down to sol, then you're opposing the one of the rules that if it's a leading tone, you have to move up. You have to go up. That's a leading tone. B, go to your tonic to C. Okay. So another question. Questions? No more questions. questions so far? Going once, going twice. Yeah, I think they're all gone. Okay, so we'll see you again next week. And hopefully, yeah, you can review all of them. This one and the previous sessions. So have a nice evening, everyone, and have a good day for those who are not in the Philippines, elsewhere. Okay, bye for now. Bye bye.